Kelsey Fike, 21, is a young, energetic, and charismatic. Brian Turner is a man in his 30s with a haggard appearance and often appears in old clothes. The old mobile home, hidden away from the main road in Kearney, Nebraska. Woman found murdered in trailer park fire. Kelsey Fike was trapped in a raging fire that many believe was no accident. Kelsey was found in her mobile home with signs of having been assaulted before the fire broke out, suggesting that it was a staged murder to cover up the crime. Investigators found unknown DNA on Kelsey's body and have surveillance video that shows a vehicle leaving the scene shortly before the fire was reported. Despite ruling out Kelsey's boyfriend, police are still searching for clues and asking for the public's help in solving the case. June 16th started out as a normal evening in the life of Kelsey Fike, a vibrant and energetic 21-year-old. After a stressful day at work, Kelsey returned to her mobile home around 5:30 p.m. The atmosphere seemed uneventful, just a quiet afternoon, with the sunset slowly fading and the last rays of daylight fading. That evening, as usual, Kelsey and her basset hound, Dante, went for a walk around the neighborhood around 9 p.m. While Dante walked by her side, Kelsey prepared for an upcoming trip to meet her best friend Jamie Graham. Everything seemed to be going according to plan, and there was no sign that Kelsey's peaceful life was about to be turned upside down. Kelsey's final call to her mother on Monday night, before the tragedy turned into a tragic moment. Kelsey told her mother that she was packing for a trip the next day. Her voice was still filled with excitement and optimism, not knowing that this call would be the last time they would hear her voice. Shortly after the call, a terrible fire broke out, costing Kelsey and her dog their lives. As the clock struck 4:30 a.m. on June 17th, Kelsey's mobile home burst into flames like a giant fireball in the night. Two newspaper delivery men passing through the area smelled smoke and immediately called 911 before rushing into the trailer park. However, the fire had already spread with such ferocity that there was no chance of rescue. The fire alarm echoed through the night, adding to the desperation of investigators and firefighters as they stood outside and called for Kelsey and Dante. Kelsey was found motionless on the floor near the back bedroom. The fire had burned her body, but that was not the main cause of her death. The autopsy revealed a brutal and unbelievable truth. Kelsey had not died from smoke inhalation or burns, but from a brutal attack that preceded the fire. She had bruises all over her body, blunt force injuries, and had been strangled by her hands, then with a rope. These marks indicated a violent struggle in which Kelsey tried to fight but was unable to escape her attacker. The fire appeared to have been set to cover up the murder. During the investigation, Kelsey's boyfriend, Alex Young, quickly emerged as a prime suspect. However, corroborating evidence that he was in Louisiana at the time of the crime quickly eliminated him from the suspect list. Surveillance video from across the street captured a vehicle leaving the scene at 4:39 a.m., about 10 minutes before the fire was reported. However, because the video was taken too far away and unclear, determining the license plate number or the identity of the driver remained a major challenge. One peculiarity of the case was the unusual silence of Dante the dog. Dante was known to bark loudly when strangers were near the house. However, on the night of the tragedy, the dog did not bark at all. This raised suspicions that the killer might be someone Kelsey knew. Dante's silence could indicate that the perpetrator had made the animal feel familiar and safe. During the investigation, authorities discovered strange DNA on Kelsey's body. But the fire had mixed Kelsey's DNA with that of the killer. DNA samples were sent to a sophisticated crime lab. Investigators hoped to separate the killer's DNA from Kelsey's, which would provide clues to solve the case. While waiting for the lab results, investigators continued to search for other leads. They examined evidence at the scene. The unlocking of the front door suggests that Kelsey may have known or that someone was coming. These clues are not clear, and the case becomes more complicated. Each step of the investigation opens up new suspicions, making the search for the truth more difficult. As investigators looked into a possible motive for the tragedy, they began to uncover complex pieces of Kelsey's life. One of the key pieces was Kelsey's relationship with a man named Brian Turner, who had been seen near her mobile home in the days leading up to the murder. Brian, who had a history of financial and personal problems, had been spotted near Kelsey's home several times. Conversations Kelsey had with friends suggested that she had difficulty saying no to Brian's unreasonable demands. Investigators discovered that Brian had visited Kelsey on June 15th, just before the murder. The tension between them may have led to a serious altercation. On the evening of June 16th, Brian was seen in the area near Kelsey's home, approaching her with a worried expression and seemingly asking for financial help. Kelsey's refusal may have driven him into a rage. Brian may have felt pushed into a desperate situation, leading him to act in a brutal manner. Kelsey tried very hard to defend herself. We can only imagine the terrifying moments she went through in her fight for her life. Despite her efforts to fight back, she could not overcome the strength of her attacker. The attack was violent, and the marks on Kelsey's body showed that she had faced a deliberate and uncompromising attack. Kelsey Fike's case has been more than just a search for her killer. It has been a painful journey for her family. They face the pain of loss and the never-ending wait for justice to be served. With each passing day, Kelsey's family's pain becomes more palpable. They hope that one day there will be justice for their daughter and all the other potential victims of the killer who is still on the loose. The case of Kelsey Fike is a heartbreaking tragedy that reflects the ruthlessness and viciousness of an unpredictable killer. While investigators are working to uncover the truth, the Kelsey family will continue to grieve until there are clear breakthroughs. They hope that the truth will come out and justice will be served. The Kelsey family's loss and grief is not only a personal story, but also a reminder of the brutality that can strike at any time. Don't take your eyes off the screen because we have many other dramatic cases for you to watch. Thank you for watching until the end of the video. Don't forget to like, share, and follow the channel to support us.